Khamzat Chimaev just destroyed Robert Whittaker at UFC 308 in the co-main event, as I predicted him to do so. I actually made a video about 2 weeks ago saying how Khamzat's going to be too much for Whittaker and he's going to submit him in the first round, and that's exactly what happened. Listen, I love Bobby Knuckles, but I just felt like he was outgunned. Khamzat taking a more professional approach to his career. He already was insane. I think Khamzat has the best wrestling in the UFC and the most dangerous grappling in round one. In the fight starts off, it looks like Khamzat's going to engage in the striking, but no, he immediately shoots a takedown about 10 seconds in. From there, it's just Robert Whittaker scrambling, trying to get to his feet. Looks like he will at one point. Then Khamzat gets him back down to the ground, and he locks up what looks to be a really hard face crank, and Robert Whittaker tapped like immediately. And initially, people were like, man, Khamzat's squeeze is insane. Why did he tap so fast? Turns out he like dislocated his jaw or like injured his jaw. There's a picture of Robert Whittaker's mouth and it's full of blood. Yeah, Khamzat Chimaev, his grappling is second to none. It's crazy to see Whittaker get submitted for the first time at middleweight and Holloway get knocked out for the first time in the same night. Insanity. But this is the outcome I thought we would get. I don't know why. I just seen it. I looked at Robert Whittaker's career and I just didn't see any like dangerous grapplers that he faced that like actually tried to submit him. Like in the middleweight division, throughout Whittaker's entire middleweight career, there's not a single fighter that really like tried to threaten submissions or like tried to submit him. And Khamzat was going to be that times 10. Khamzat is the best wrestler in the UFC. He's rolling with Olympic gold medalists for his training camp. He's got doctors and nutritionists on his side. Listen, I might sound like a casual, but I truly think that Khamzat was being honest when he kept getting violently ill. And I think he was overtraining. He was not in the best spot, and he looks to be in a much better spot. Dr. Khamzat is upon us. And yeah, man, he just strangled Whittaker in round one. It's insane. Part of me was hoping that Robert Whittaker would beat him and go on another title run because I love Robert Whittaker. But my heart said Whittaker, my mind said Khamzat, and I don't know. I just saw Khamzat taking down Whittaker and eventually getting a submission, and man, that was brutal. To see Whittaker tap as fast as he did, knowing that Khamzat like effed up his jaw, was insane. This fight, I've been waiting for this fight all year. I was so excited to see what would happen. Would Khamzat be able to knock out Whittaker on the feet? Would Whittaker survive the storm at the beginning and be able to weather it and come back in the later rounds and TKO Khamzat later on? Would Khamzat just submit him right away, which is what I thought was the most likely thing to happen? I thought Khamzat would engage in the striking a little bit more, being that people always talk about how the best path to victory against him is to keep it on the feet, because he has shown to have power. He one-punch KO'd Ikram Aliskerov back in the day. He's also one-punch KO'd Gerald Mearshart. So Khamzat definitely has insane power in his hands. But man, people, even myself, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, Bobby Knuckles, if he gets up and he gets out of this first round, I think he can win this fight. But he couldn't get out the first round, and that's exactly what I predicted, man. Khamzat's just too good, too dominant. It's just insane. This fight, I was so nervous in the build-up and just waiting for them to get to the cage. Once they got into the cage, I was just so nervous, and I was like, man, I think Khamzat's going to shoot a takedown right away, and he did. And Robert Whittaker was scrambling. He was moving. And I was like, okay, Whittaker looks like he can get back to his feet. And he temporarily did, but then Khamzat dragged him right back to the mat, eventually locking up a strong face crank, which caused Robert Whittaker to panic tap because he had jacked up his jaw. Yeah, man, sucks for Robert Whittaker. He's still only 33. I know he's been in the UFC for a long time, but listen, I think Robert Whittaker can still climb to the top. He's still amazing. It's not like he got knocked out. He just got submitted and got some damage to his jaw. It's going to take some time to recover. Khamzat, this is the best he's looked, and man, I don't think anybody beats him. I think he beats Dricus. I think he submits Dricus in the first round too. I don't think that's a hot take. Listen, I think Robert Whittaker has better wrestling defense than Dricus. I think Dricus has been taken down in the UFC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. I just think Khamzat, if Dricus has good offensive jiu-jitsu and wrestling, but defensive, how good is his wrestling? I think Khamzat's gonna do just what he did to Whittaker. He's going to march across the octagon. He's going to shoot a double leg, get Dricus to the ground, and then he's going to strangle him. That's just what I think. I know it's early, and I know Dricus is a different beast. Dricus destroyed Whittaker in his own right, but Khamzat just made Whittaker look like an amateur. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And a lot of people were criticizing Whittaker for tapping so fast, but dude, if you see the damage to his jaw, give him a break. Bobby Knuckles is a warrior. We know he doesn't quit. He's an amazing fighter, a former champion. Robert Whittaker is one of the greatest middleweights ever. He's definitely going to go into the Hall of Fame. But man, Dr. Khamzat Chimaev, therapist Khamzat Chimaev, all the mythical versions of Khamzat Chimaev we've seen leading up this week. He looked more focused than ever, more mature. He looked to be in incredible shape. He looked to be working on his cardio, his nutrition, not overtraining. And I think all of that led to this result. And yeah, I think a healthy Khamzat is a dangerous Khamzat. And yeah, I'd like to see him against Dricus Du Plessis next. I do think that's going to be the matchup the UFC is going to make. I think they're going to skip over Strickland. They're going to give Khamzat the title shot. They've been wanting to give Khamzat a title shot for a long time. And yeah, as I said, I think he strangles Du Plessis in the same way. Like, call me a casual. People are going to say DDP's a different beast, but I see the same result. I don't think anybody can survive this guy's grappling. I know Kamaru Usman did, but there was a lot of different things going on with Khamzat whenever he fought Usman with his health and overtraining and violently ill and all these other stuff. He seemed to be more healthy, and I think a healthy Khamzat's going to have a better gas tank. And yeah, I don't even think it matters because he's going to take Dricus down in the first round. He's going to strangle him. So that's my early prediction because I do think that they're going to skip over Strickland for that title shot. Yeah, man, this fight was, I would say it lived up to the hype, but exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. So I can't. I wish they would have went a little bit longer and see how Khamzat could have fared in the second, third, fourth round. Maybe he could have shown off his new and improved cardio if that even is a thing. But he didn't need to, man. Got Whittaker out of there. 3 minutes and 34 of the first round. Whittaker obviously is going to need to take some time off. Maybe you do the Whittaker Adesanya trilogy. Who knows? But obviously, I think the UFC is going to give Khamzat the title shot. And yeah, he did it. Chimaev, the Wolf, destroys Robert Whittaker like no one else in the middleweight division has. I know Dricus beat him, but Khamzat just embarrassed him. I don't know, man. That's crazy to me. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this fight down below. It was a shocking result. Even though it's what I predicted to happen, it was still shocking to see because I know how much of a beast Whittaker is, and he was coming off a KO over Ikram Aliskerov, who's a dangerous wrestler and striker in his own right, but there's nobody as dangerous as Khamzat. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Khamzat's going to be the next champion. That's my opinion. Thank you for watching UFC 308. It was a banger. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.